Attention all viewers, the program you are about to watch, Searching for Sasquatch, is for entertainment purposes. Accounts described by guests are claimed to be true and accurate. Some names have been changed to protect individual privacy. Jason Kenzie is an expert animal adventurer with 25 years of field experience. Caution and companionship is advised for all who venture into the deep forest or backcountry.
Folklore is the expressive body of culture shared by a particular group of people. It encompasses the traditions common to the culture, subculture, or group. Collective hysteria is a phenomenon that transmits collective illusions of threats through real or imaginary, through a population and society as a result of rumors and fear. Some say there are monsters that walk the deep forests. Others believe it's our imagination running wild. What is it that people say they are seeing that is so unimaginable? Can you imagine? You're hiking through the forest when all of a sudden there's a crack and you wonder, maybe it's a deer or a cute little chipmunk. When all of a sudden your imagination takes control and you start thinking, well, maybe it's a bear. I'm in British Columbia, Canada, and I'm searching for this creature that is 9 feet tall, covered in hair, walks on 2 legs. The indigenous people call this creature Sasquatch. But if you go south of the border, they call this creature Bigfoot. And if you go to the mountains of the Himalayas, they call it the Yeti, or the abominable snowman. And if you go to Australia, they call it the Yowie. And some say that if you go to China, they call it the Huawei. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to a few eyewitnesses who say they have seen Sasquatch. Now, I'm a bit of a skeptic because I have never seen this creature firsthand. So here's the thing. You hear about these hikers and these hunters who have an encounter with something that screams at them, that howls, that throws rocks. And these people, they run for their lives. And later on, when they talk to authorities, they say, wow, I'm so lucky to get away. Maybe it's not luck. Maybe if these creatures are real, they live their lives in the forest. They can see in pure darkness. You're on their territory. So really, if they really wanted to kill you, there is literally nothing you could do. They would just take you out. But yet they let these people run away. This just tells me that these creatures, they just want to be left alone. And they just don't want you on their territory. That's if they really do exist. What are we waiting for? Come on, let's go. We live in a world where people love their pets more than anything else. As an extreme pet photographer, I'm hired to photograph the most amazing animals people live with. I'm Jason Kenzie, and these are my chronicles. These are my animal adventures. Oh, you can see the colors.
May champagne pops.
Laps and stuff around it. This is what life is about. Before I head up to Cathedral Lakes, I get a call from Shane, who lives up in Headley, BC. Shane is a member of the Sokami Indigenous Band. He has an interesting story to tell me about his encounters with 4 Sasquatches.
It was probably a couple years ago. We were sitting out on the porch, we're having a cigarette, and it was over on that hill behind the house. And we're sitting there, and we heard a big rock being thrown from the hill. And it was winter, and it was really cold out, and they're moving. And this is a Sasquatch crossing coming through here, through the reservation, Upper Smokameen there. And I ran in the house. I was actually pretty freaked out about it. And so I came back outside, and we heard something over there, and it was breaking branches, and it walked over to the corner, and from the light on the balcony you can see these two eyes, and it was standing pretty tall. And so I grabbed these two sticks that I had, and I banged them together, and I waited for about 30 seconds, and then one was right by the corner over there. It banged the sticks together, and then
Banged the sticks together. You heard
it called back to me.
Yeah.
And then sooner, not even 10 minutes after that, I did it a couple more times, and then we heard it all the way around from down over there and down over there, and they're even over in the field over here. There's about 4 of them that night.
There was 4 of them, so.
Yeah.
So how close were you exactly?
Well, from the balcony to the edge of the hill over there, I'd say it was probably about a good 100 feet. Yeah.
And so, did you go in, like the next morning, did you go and check it out?
Next morning, there's the wind that's blowing the snow all the way around, and it was snowing that night too. It snowed pretty heavy.
So you know what a bear looks like,
Yeah.
I imagine you hunt.
Yeah.
And cougar?
Yeah, I know what a cougar looks like.
A bunny?
Yeah.
Could have been
I seen one today at work.
So, how do you know it's not a bear? What made you think, like before this incident happened, did you believe in Sasquatch?
Oh yeah, I believed in them.
Wow, this is an incredible story.
Yeah.
So if I was to come back tonight and look around, I think there could be a chance that I might find something?
You might. There's a great possibility, because this is a Sasquatch crossing, and they do need to come for water at some times.
So where do you think they might be? Like,
Well, they come down from up in the mountain over there behind our house, and they cross through here.
well, this is great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Shane's encounter sounds fascinating and is so unreal. I do believe he had an experience with something, and the fact that he wasn't alone and others in his family also heard the same noises makes me wonder. I'm still not convinced that a Sasquatch is real. How can something so massively huge stay undetected in these forests for so long without being captured by one of the thousands of trail cams that litter the woods? I won't be able to spend the night here. I must quickly pack up because I have a meeting with 3 more eyewitnesses who claim they have Bigfoot as their neighbor. My adventure up to Cathedral Lake started great. I was met by the employees of the lodge, and I was driven in an off-road vehicle through some of British Columbia's most beautiful scenery. Suddenly, my trip took a turn for the worst when a tree either fell or was pushed. Oh, watch it! Oh, coming down! Assessing the situation, I wasn't sure what had happened. Was it the work of a big hairy crypto creature that didn't want us to proceed? Damn, those squirrels don't want us to get through. All I knew is we needed to cut this tree and get it out of our way so we can proceed up to the lakes. Yeah, good. Good. I'm about to meet Jordan and Cody. They say they have had an experience with this big hairy creature. I'm very excited to meet him and see what he has to say. This place has a lot of mosquitoes. They're huge. They could like carry you off. In fact, when you look up, holy cow, there's a lot of them. You can see them against the blue sky. Oh no, one's got me.
Hi, my name is Jordan Padmos. We're at Cathedral Lakes Lodge.
I'm with Cody right now, and he's about to talk to me about a Sasquatch sighting that he had a few years ago. Hi, nice to meet you, Cody.
Nice to meet you.
About 20 years ago, I came out of this shower house and looked up the hillside here and saw these red eyes looking back at me in the bush. And then I went back quickly to my staff cabin that night, and that's all I saw. But that same year, we had another guest report red eyes in a cave up coming off a trail off Lady Slipper Lake. And then the park ranger, Jen at the time, she was camping up a glacier, and she heard a loud pounding in the bush.
So it was my first night up here, actually, just up here, Actually, I came out to use the outhouse, and it was windy. It had been snowing, but it had cleared up, and I heard this.
How long ago was this?
This is 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. So it's a pretty cold night. It was windy, but I heard something going against the rhythm of the wind, and it sounded like someone taking a log and bashing it against a tree.
On the ground or something, a loud thumping, and it was a really strong smell. And she was an official BC park ranger.
What time of day was this? What, with you?
With me, it was nighttime.
It was nighttime?
Yeah, it was about 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Tell me about the fence.
Yeah. And then at the time we had pigs up here to eat all the compost. So we had there's a big chain link fence up there.
And it was coming from actually down in here. And it was rhythmic. It was 3 shots. It was, and then it would just stop. And then.
Did you decide to bang back?
No. Actually, all the hair stood up on the back of my neck. It kind of freaked me out. I was just up here, and you know, it's my first night up here, and I was like, it's weird, but I've spent time in the bush, right?
Yeah.
So, it kind of freaked me out a bit, and I told everyone the next morning, and everyone was kind of jiving me about Sasquatch, right?
8-foot fence, and something one night had pushed the fence right down and doubled it down to the ground, and it had eaten all the eggshells, which were leftovers, which the pigs didn't eat, which we thought was really strange.
But our head cleaner at the time, she heard it too. She came down and it actually woke her up in the middle of the night. So I asked the ranger the next day if he was chopping wood or something over there, and he said
In the middle of the night?
Yeah, in the middle of the night or something. You know, you never know what it is, but I've never heard anything since like that. So, and you know, this is my first night up here, so I thought maybe.
So how close do you think it was? Like.
And it left a big scat outside of a human-sized turd full of eggshells that we kept and tried to send into the lab, but we never did.
There's probably half a click in the bush.
No, so you couldn't even walk up in that direction to.
No, and it was dark. It was dark, right? So, but yeah, it was definitely. I've never heard anything like it. I know the owner of the lodge has talked about. He's heard smashing before, smashing on the ground, but that one sounded like someone had picked a log up and was smashing a log against a tree. Probably about 10 years ago, we had a driver named Paul from the Lower Similkameen Indian Band, and he worked here for quite a number of years, but they have a theory that every 10 years or so, this area, the Sasquatch migrate through, because you'll get years where you don't hear anything, and then you get years when there's tons of activity. So the Similkameen Band figures that this area is a traditional Sasquatch area.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
After interviewing Jordan and Cody, I was eager to go out and do a night investigation. While I wait for darkness to fall, I head out into the forest to explore the area and see if I can find any evidence of Sasquatch. A simple footprint would be great. Everywhere I looked, there was beauty all around me. The forest floor was thick with branches and with fallen trees, and at times it was hard to walk through. And I thought to myself, where would a 9-foot, 1,000-pound creature be able to hide? Probably higher up on the mountain, above the tree line. This is where I must go. The views from way up here are absolutely stunning. I can see why Sasquatch would migrate across here. Suddenly, I see movement just to the left of me. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the creature I've been told about. Sasquatch could be anywhere. Obviously, he's not here in this huge cave. As I move from around a rock, very cautiously, I came face to face with the cutest mountain goat ever. I waited till the sun set and the full moon to light up the forest shadows. It's now time for me to hunt. Now hiking in the forest around this lake, and up here I see that there's some rock formations. Looks like there could be a cave. I don't know what I'm going to find here, but I know that there's cougars. My time with the 3 witnesses only brought out more questions than answers. I truly want to believe there are giant man-like primates lurking in our Canadian forests, But without first-hand experience, I must keep my beliefs in check. There are a few things that all three eyewitnesses said about Sasquatch. 1. They both saw strange eyes that glow red. 2. All of their experiences happened at night. And 3. Whatever they heard were sounds that they didn't recognize, which is strange all to itself, because they all did extensive adventures in the wilderness. They know the sounds of most of the animals in the wilds of British Columbia. Wow, these are huge rocks. Just gonna listen. Now remember, people say they have heard strange noises in the deep, dark forest. So I don't know what I'm gonna find. I know there's cougar up here. I know there's mountain goat. I know that there's lots of deer. And allegedly, there's supposed to be lots of Sasquatches. As I peer off into the darkness, I can't help but wonder, what did these guys see that had glowing red eyes? There's only one animal that I could think of that has red eyes. They come out at night. These are owls, and they do perch on branches at a minimum of 9 feet off the ground. So maybe this is what these guys are seeing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be meeting the owner of this lodge. He's been up here for like over 50 years. He has some incredible Sasquatch stories. Like I said, could they be real? We're going to find out tomorrow. You know what? I think it's time to head back to camp. I had just fallen asleep when I was awakened by breaking branches. There's something outside of my tent. There's an animal. I guess I left the food too close to my tent. I got the light. I'm gonna go check to see if I can see anything. Okay. Something told me it was either a raccoon or one of the many deer that grazes the area. I don't see anything. I see nothing. I see dead people. No, I don't see anything. As I unzipped my tent, I had mixed feelings. I really wanted it to be Bigfoot. On the other hand, I didn't want to be the big guy's lunch. Holy crap, what the is that? I have journeyed into the mountains around the Sasquatch territory. I have just met witnesses who say they have had encounters with the creature known as Sasquatch.
And looked up the hillside here and saw these red eyes.
And it was coming from actually down in here.
I have just been woken up from my sleep in the middle of the night by a growl and seeing a large shadow outside my tent. I'll just turn this light a little bit. There. I'm a homeboy. I'm a homeboy camper. Okay, it's nothing. Whatever was out here is gone. It's time to go back to sleep. Okay? Well, I didn't get too much sleep last night. Whatever came around my tent left me a little rattled. For all I know, it could have been a bear. Now that I have my gear ready, it's time for me to meet Richard. Richard, nice to meet you.
Hi,
I'm Jason.
Hi, Jason.
So you have a Sasquatch story about...
Well, the last Sasquatch story we have was about 4 years ago. We had one of our guests came down and he said there's some really strange tracks in Scout Lake. He said I don't know what they are, and so we went and looked at them, and they were big tracks, probably maybe a foot long, but they were embedded really deep in the mud, and you could see wherever it was went into the water, and you could see the track, whatever it had. The stride was each footprint was about 6 feet, so this it must have been pretty tall. It had a long stride. And then it just disappeared in the middle of the lake, and I walked all around the lake to see where it came out. I couldn't see any place where it came out. And then I went up above the lake on the ridge above it, and I looked down. You could see the tracks going out in the middle of the lake and just stopping. So some people say it was a moose, but if it was a moose, he had to walk in and walk so that his back feet went exactly into the same track as his front feet, because this was a biped. There was only 2 tracks. It wasn't 4-footed. And then wherever it was had to walk out exactly on the same tracks, because there's only one set of tracks in, and then it just disappears.
Was there any on dry land? Or were they all in the water?
No. You could see a little bit of scuff in dry land, but so if you go, you can still see his tracks in Scout Lake.
Oh, you can?
Oh yeah. That was probably. I've got pictures of it when it first happened, but it was probably, I'm guessing 4 or 5 years ago.
How did you keep them still there? Like
they're so embedded in the mud in the bottom of the lake that they're still there.
Huh.
And
where's Scout Lake?
Scout Lake is just really less than maybe half an hour, 40-minute walk up on the Diamond Trail. And if you go right down to the lake, there's a little clearing.
Yeah. To be honest, as soon as Richard said that the tracks can still be visually seen to this day, I didn't hear another word he said. I was just excited to hike to the lake to see these so-called Sasquatch tracks for myself. So have you ever physically seen one?
No, I had one follow me once, so I could hear him, and I knew I could smell him and hear him behind me. And then I went up, that night I was up, and we used to run the generators before we had solar, and we shut the generator off at 11 o'clock, so I went up there at 11 o'clock, and I knew there was something around there, right? And I could feel it, and then he followed me, and I went up that night, and I slept up on the top of Glacier Lake, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, he started banging the ground right near where I was sleeping and woke me up. I never saw him though.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Thank you.
I hope you get a picture of one.
Yes, you never know what might happen. And because I'm heading up to higher altitude, I just had to stop and change my shirt to something a little warmer. I am on my way to Scout Lake. This is where Richard said that he found these huge footprints leading into the lake and possibly across it. I hope that I find something. As I journey up to Scout Lake, I'm in awe with how much beauty is all around me. British Columbia is an amazing place to get out and love life. And now I go over the little details I've heard so far. Sasquatch is a large creature, 9 to 10 feet tall, covered in hair. They give off a loud vocal siren to communicate, and this can be heard for miles. And because they don't have access to soap, they stink bad, and their eyes glow red. Some ask, why does their eyes glow? Well, nocturnal animals have a mirror-like layer called tapetum lucidum. For increasing their night vision, this reflection of light causes the tapetum to glow and have animals' eyes appear red, green, or any other color. Such animals with these kind of eyes are owls, coyotes, bears, deer, dogs, and cats. In order for these eyes to glow, you need a light source to be flashing towards that subject. Some say they have seen these red eyes in the forest without even shining a flashlight on them. So I'm here now at Scout Lake. Now it does look like there's been something walking around in this lake. I'm going to put the drone up and see what I can see from overhead. But I do know that this lake is not very deep, maybe up to my waist, but to a Sasquatch that would be up to his knee. There's no argument that something has been walking in the water. It's probably a bear, but I can't see footprints lasting too long in the water, not to mention for years. And no matter how deep into the mud these footprints go, I'm still not convinced. I hike higher into the rocky terrain, hoping to get a better look at the surroundings. After a few nights of exploring and not finding anything that has to do with Sasquatch, I make a few phone calls and decide to head out into another area of BC. Except this time, where I'm going, I don't need a vehicle. My next adventure, searching for Sasquatch, takes me to an area a few hundred miles from Vancouver, an area known to have alleged Sasquatch sightings. Here I will spend the night, hoping to have an encounter. I'm in one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and you can see landscapes like this over my shoulder. Look at this. Look how beautiful that is. Why can't there be a 9-foot creature living down there? Oh, families of them. It's night 1. It's going to be interesting. As I sit around the fire, catching the warmth, my ears are scanning the area for any sounds. I just know it's going to be a long night. So I just heard some crunching in the forest just over there behind me. The forest here in British Columbia can be very scary at night. I do what is called a whoop, and some researchers believe that this is how Sasquatches communicate with each other. You hear that? There's something over there. There is something in the forest. It's going to be a very long night. As I stand here in the darkness, listening to the sounds of something moving in the forest, I can't help but remember searching for this mythical creature in a place so far off grid that even ships would lose their way and end up creating their own graveyard. To this day, the first people echo ancient tales of encounters and sightings of what they truly believe is Sasquatch.
My name is Jean Yellowstone. This is my Sasquatch encounter. We were out picking mushrooms, enjoying a beautiful sunny day on a hike. Next thing you know, when halfway up the mountain, we had seen a few wild animals. And when we seen them, we just ignored them and kept on walking and hiking and looking for our mushrooms. Next thing you know, we seen something bigger, really big, out of place, and it was dark, and tall. So when we got closer, about 150 feet away, we had seen and recognized it was a Sasquatch. So we froze, didn't know what to do. Next thing you know, we just stood there with a
And so how long did you stand there before it disappeared?
I would say a good 20 seconds. 20 seconds, and he looked at us and wondering what to do, I guess, and just kept on going. Because we didn't do nothing.
And then what did you guys do?
Watched them.
Did you turn around and go back?
No, we just wanted to make sure that he just stood there and not followed us. He was far enough away so we could walk away and go in a different direction.
Jean's story has always stuck in my head. So here I am now, in the darkness, trying to solve a mystery that may or may not be real. It's getting late. I'm going to probably turn in for the night, but I'm going to keep one ear open. It's late. This is going to be the first time that I've slept in a hammock tent. I don't need this. Doing good. I bet you Sasquatch is over there laughing at me right now. Trying not to fall out of a frickin' hammock tent. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Son of a... Okay. I meant to do this. Okay. Try this again. Okay. Here we go. Much better. All right. It's time to say goodnight. I heard something. Do you hear that? There's something out there. I don't know if you can see anything. Oh, it's hard to see anything. There's something walking around out there. I can't tell if it has 2 legs or 4 legs. For all I know, it's a bunny. I can't see anything in this tent. Okay. Whatever it was, it's gone now. I guess it's back to bed I go. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I know I won't sleep for the rest of the night. I'm hoping tomorrow I find some big footprints to cast. I know that the sounds I heard last night were of coyotes. This area has thousands of them, all hunting for food. There are over 80,000 species of animals that call Canada home, none of which includes a 900-pound, 10-foot-tall man-ape, at least not yet. After a few hours of searching the forest ground for any signs of large 17-inch footprints, I didn't find nothing. Wow, this is so cool. Look at this. Wow. So, throughout the Canadian wilderness, you will always come across mushrooms everywhere. This will be delicious for me to eat. And I know that I won't get sick. I'm just kidding. If you don't have a clue what kind of mushroom it is, like I have no idea what kind of mushroom this is, but it's definitely going to make me sick probably, and it's going to give me a stomach ache, and that's going to be the end of my Sasquatch hunt. And I'll leave you alone. Mwah. And it was time for me to leave this area. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine and heading into another location that some say is the Sasquatch hotspot in the world. This is going to be an interesting night. I'm going to have my friend with me tonight. His name is Paul. And hopefully, tonight, we get some kind of action. Maybe a yelp, maybe some wood knocks back. This is going to be great. Deer Lake is my next location. Only a couple of hours past Harrison Hot Springs, in the middle of nowhere. This place is allegedly a hotspot for paranormal activity, including giant hairy monsters. There are thousands of reported sightings of a big hairy creature walking on 2 legs, crossing in front of unexpected drivers on these logging roads throughout North America. For tonight, I'm not sure what to expect. I do know that this area that I'm headed to has had their fair share of Sasquatch sightings over the years. You know, it's refreshing to have company with me tonight. one thing about having another person with you, and that is if there is an experience tonight, at least you have an eyewitness to back you up. And also, if Sasquatch does attack us, I just have to outrun Paul. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. And Paul and I are now, I'm with my buddy Paul, and we're in the forest. And we're hoping that we can get some kind of experience tonight, either with, well, Sasquatch. It's so strange here and so quiet. Where do you want to set up camp? I got one of these easy tents that sets up really nicely. All right, and that's as simple as that. So what do you think about all this?
It's awesome. Good to be out in nature, get out, get some fresh air, see a nice clean environment.
I'll see you guys in a second, once we have the fire going.
This is all wet. What are we doing?
Okay, so we're just going to get a fire going, and then after we have this done, we're going to see if we can find some Sasquatches. I can't help but laugh at that because I don't even know if they're real.
What's that noise? You hear that? You hear that noise? I hear a noise.
I'm not sure, but Paul, it's probably two branches rubbing together in the wind.
What is that noise?
Do you hear that?
No,
That could be any
I
sound.
heard a bird, I think. Was it some kind of squeak? Do Sasquatches make a little squeak?
Yeah, they do whistles. Oh, they can whistle. Allegedly.
Like
That's
that?
if they're real.
How about this one? Do they whistle like that?
They can.
No, they can?
They can.
How about this one? How about
They could.
they could? Campfire, good times. A little wet leaf there. Oh yeah.
So Paul and I are here. We are going to be doing a little bit of Sasquatch yelping and some wood knocks. We brought ourselves a bat. So what do you think about Sasquatch, Paul?
Well, there's something out there for sure. There's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of footprints, for example. There's a lot of stories. First Canadians that I know, they talk about seeing them, and they like to keep it a little quiet, and I don't blame them. And I respect that, and I respect Mother Earth, and I respect the all the different kinds of creatures that are out there.
What about no remains? Nobody's ever found a body.
I can't explain it. Maybe there's a certain kind of burial that they do, or maybe they're just some kind of alien that, you know, have some kind of self-destruction button or something that they press and they die.
Well, I believe that if there is a Sasquatch out there, there has to be a lot of them. It can't be just one or two.
Yeah, there's probably lots of them.
So what do you think? Do you want to go for a walk? We can do a couple of yelps, whack the baseball bat across the tree, do some wood knocks. Of course, nobody ever looks up because you know this creature could just be right above you in the tree. Allegedly, he's supposed to be half gorilla and half man. We're in an area where allegedly these creatures live. Here, let me give it a whack.
Sure.
I want to believe that my knocks into the night haven't gone unnoticed. Maybe the thousands of Sasquatches that are believed to exist are on holiday. Maybe Shane is onto something.
This is a Sasquatch crossing coming through here.
We have the perfect night, too. It's not too cold. It's not pouring rain out. Woo! I think that's coyotes. Maybe these hairy men of the woods do migrate to the south of the border. This is my theory. When these Sasquatch hunters go out into the forest and they do their Sasquatch yelps, woo! And they get something back, how do they not know that it isn't a bunch of hunters or campers, which are like 5 or 6 kilometers away, hearing it and yelping back? You know, I may be a bit of a skeptic, but I do love a good mystery. Woo! Oh! Oh! Well, I'm still not convinced that Sasquatch is real. You know, I haven't had any experiences yet, but I'm not giving up. It's creepy. I gotta get some sleep tonight because tomorrow is gonna be a big day. Woo! My investigations have led me to some interesting locations, exploring lakes, untouched wilderness, first growth forests, and caves, both frozen and catacomb. I do wonder what my first reaction would be if I ever come face to face with one. Well, you know, first off, being that I'm only 5'6", my first time encounter would probably be more like face to stomach. The mystery of Sasquatch may never be solved, but the fun of searching for them will always live on in our outdoor adventures forever. To be continued.